welcome to episode 11 of Incoming, my look back at the week's historical miniature releases. This episode is for the week ending the 10th of July 2009, and as always I'm your host Neil Shuck. Loads to get through this week, so we'll crack straight on. Number 10, we have a range of figures I haven't seen before. This is from a company called All the King's Men, and this is actually from their War of 1812 range. And usually these are a range of 54mm figures that they've produced, both British and US troops. Quite an interesting little range, this. Almost seem a little bit of cross between toy soldiers and war games figures. So these might actually be something worth a look, especially if your taste runs some more old school gaming. At number 9, and jumping right down in scale, we have a new release from Alpine Miniatures. They got a couple of packs of their Panzer troops. This particular pack here is a pack of their officers. Interesting selection in this particular scale. Number 8, we have a new release from Crusade Miniatures. These have been promised for a while. These are the new Sam Knights. We've only got one pack available for preview at the moment, but Crusader are always a decent 28mm figure company, and so if you're an Ancients fan, lots to look forward to here. And staying with the Ancients theme this week, at number 7, we actually have a promotional figure from Gorgon Studios. Now, if you remember, Gorgon was a company I featured for the first time a couple of weeks ago with Steve Sellers' range of Spartans and Greeks. And this is a promotional figure of a Persian, and it's a rather striking figure, I think. 28mm again, and yeah, I just think this is a really nice looking figure. Not the most dynamic pose, but striking all the same. Number 6, we have the first of a couple of releases this week from Warlord, and this is actually part of their Dacian range. New range of figures to go with their Enemies of the Roman Empire. This happens to be a Dacian Scorpion. I'm not sure how historically correct this is, as I wasn't aware that Dacians use scorpions, but a nice looking model I think all the same. And staying with the Ancients theme, yet again we move into the top 5, but switch scales down to 6mm. And here we see a couple of new releases from Bacchus. These are the long-awaited completeness of the Sasanian Persian range. We have Persian infantry and also the long-awaited elephants. This is a great little range from Pete Berry at Bacchus, and I'm a huge fan of Bacchus, as you know, and I'd highly recommend these. Certainly I'll be looking at these for Byzantine battles in the near future. At number 4, a manufacturer I don't use that often, and that's pulpfigures.com, but I thought this release was rather striking, and this is of Sikh infantry serving the British Army. I've only really seen these before by Copplestone, so it's good to see another manufacturer do them, and I think they are well sculpted, well detailed, loads of dynamic poses, and I really think they hit the mark. I think these are great. Whether you're doing Mediterranean Theatre, World War I, or pulp games, these are just ideal. Into the top 3 this week, and yet again it's that 15mm manufacturer Campaign Game Miniatures that springs to mind again. They've been producing a lot of figures over recent weeks, and finally their much anticipated Scots Greys have come out. And again, carrying on from their releases of British and French Dragoons and Hussars, these look just great stuff. Really good releases from Campaign Miniatures. I continue to be impressed by their 15mm releases. Well, number 2 is back to Ancients, and it's back to those Dacians. As well as releasing the Scorpion Warlord this week, have also released the Dacian Warhost. Several examples of models that are available in this pack of plastic miniatures here, and Warlord continue to release some quality products. These again look really interesting, and carry on from their Romans and Celts, and it looks like they're going to be producing the whole of the Imperial Roman Enemies of Rome sort of range. Nicely detailed, looks like they're multi-pose, as with the plastic kits. Great stuff from Warlord. Lovely to see them carrying on with their ranges. And finally, number 1, and a really late entry, as this came in right at the last minute, but Eureka seem to have done it again. I have to say, their releases of late seem to be somewhat eclectic. They seem to be releasing for ranges all over the place. I've been featuring Moderns, American War of Independence, World War II, and here we have late 18th century French troops with helmets. And these are just fantastic looking figures, beautifully detailed and sculpted, and just so evocative of the period. Again, it's brilliant stuff from Eureka. They continue to impress me with their releases. So well worthy of their #1 release for this week. Well, that's it. Short and sharp, but a couple of things I wanted to leave you with. First of all, I have been a little bit remiss over recent weeks in featuring some new releases from Warlord, and actually that means I've missed some new releases. So here are a few of their vehicles, especially that they've released over a couple of weeks. Oh, plus a couple of the Pike and Shot figures. There's been some brilliant stuff been released by Warlord, both for their plastic ranges and also for Bolt Action Miniatures as well. Whether it's the Humber Scout cars, the Deuce and a Half, they really have forged on and produced some really good kits. So, I continue to be impressed by Warlord and what they're releasing and what they're supporting for all of their ranges. While I kind of missed these in my top 10s for the last few weeks, I really wanted to feature them here. Great stuff from Warlord. Well, that's it for me for another week. Thank you again for watching. Just a noting point, I will not be producing an incoming next week as I'm away at the Manacon Board Games Convention. So the next incoming will actually be in a couple of weeks' time. Okay, so thanks again for watching. I hope you've enjoyed it. Take care, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye.